Welcome to the second in a four-part series about the science of sound. Which is drawn from the Indian and Kabbalah sciences of sound, which are the oldest and most powerful sciences and arts of sound and vibration, in which we understand that everything in creation is vibration. We are vibration, and that by knowing and utilizing this science and art, we can actually expand ourselves in every single way and actually merge with the vibration of the universe and actually ourselves. This is the essence of all sound yoga, and this is why in India and in the Kabbalistic and Egyptian traditions, they used sound. They wanted to commune with everything in creation. They wanted to understand, know how everything in creation worked. So the essence of everything is vibration. So if we understand vibration and the ways to tap into it through our own inner technologies, we can then learn how we work and learn how the universe operates. Now this knowledge has been kept quite secret, quite hidden away by initiates in different traditions, in the Kabbalah and in the Indian tradition. In the Indian tradition, the deepest understandings of sound come from the Kashmiri Shaivite or Shiva traditions, of which I'm an initiate of, and my ancestors since at least the 1700s have been teachers of. There have been pundits and swamis in the Kashmiri Shaivite tradition. So I've traced that back to the 1700s through my journeys in India and consultations with pundits and temples in Kashmir. And probably my lineage goes further back. But anyway, moving on. The second mode of sound vibration is called Madhyama in Sanskrit. Madhyama means interface, or the bridge, or the middle. So it's the middle, the interface, the bridge between the first mode of vibration, which we talked about in the previous video, and the higher modes of vibration, unity consciousness, that are held in the third and fourth modes of vibration. So this is a bridge between dimensions, between the third dimension and the fourth dimension, we can say, between one brainwave state that is focused on the external world and relies on the senses alone, and our inner senses and our inner world. So we could say the first mode of vibration is focused on the senses and the mind. The second mode of vibration is focused on your inner senses, your inner environment, and your inner world. So in the second mode of vibration, our focus is not on the outside world or the external, it's on our internal world. And the way we can most easily access that is through listening. Now when we listen to another person, not just to their words, but to their feeling, their tone, their intention, their motive behind the words, when we're actually listening to that, then we can actually start to feel where that person is coming from. And that's often more important than where and what they are saying. So for example, two people can say exactly the same things, and it can mean their meaning or their motive or their intention can come from a completely different place. Often people say things and they don't really know what they're saying, or if they're saying it, they can't really get to the meaning of what they themselves are trying to express. Often people can be saying certain words, and they may be meaning something completely different, or something on a different tangent. Sometimes people can be lying to you through their words. So through tapping into this second mode of vibration, we can actually begin to feel that person and feel the true meaning of their words. And this becomes really important. You could say it's a heightened sense of intuition, but it works through sound and vibration. the meaning behind the words that people are saying. If we take this a step further, we can actually listen to our environment, listen to the environment around us, and listen to the sounds in nature. We can also hear what dogs or whales or other animals are emitting, even though we don't understand that language. Similarly to other people in other languages who are speaking to us that we don't intellectually understand, sometimes we can tell what they're saying, we can feel what they're saying. If someone is speaking about you in another language, your senses can prick up. You can go, hey, they're speaking about, maybe they're saying something not nice, or they're making fun of me, or they think I don't understand, and so on. So I call this our inner bullshit detector. We can feel the truth in what people are saying to us. When we extend that into deep listening, we can actually experience and understand the essential nature of something, person, or their true meaning, feeling, intention, motive. If we extend that even further, anything that is being said through words has a picture to it. When you start to really tune into the feeling behind the words that someone is saying to you, and even that yourself is saying, you'll start to see pictures. And these pictures can appear to be connected or on a tangent from what that person is saying, but nonetheless they are there. So more and more people are starting to experience that. When I experience that, when people are speaking to me, half the time I'm not really listening to their words. I'm always focusing more on the meaning, feeling of their words. And then I respond to them through the pictures. So I'll use words that will then go into the meaning or feeling behind what they're saying. And that could be on quite a tangent to what their words are actually saying. So many things can happen when we tune into this level. And there's certain nada yoga, sound yoga practices where we actually start to listen to what's happening inside our bodies, to what's happening around us in the room, the planet, the cosmos, and the sound behind all sounds, or the silence. And these are very profound, deep listening and healing practices that we can do, where we just tune ourselves in to listen. And this doesn't take effort. It's not about trying to listen. It's about relaxing into that space, which is like the space between your thoughts, the space between notes of music. As all musicians know, good music, great music is also made or understood by the space or silence between the notes, or the phrases, or the movements of symphonies. The silence creates a space, and then the space allows the sound to be received more deeply. So it is when we listen. If you're meditating internally, many mindfulness practices urge us to rest in the space between our thoughts, or breathe in that space. And the same for when we speak. If we allow space between our words, and we listen to the space underneath or behind other people's words, then we can actually feel them better. So the art of listening is not about trying, it's about relaxing into that space and feeling, and soon enough you will come to the images. Now modern science has shown that within our bodies communicate through pictures and the dendritic connections between our synapses, neurons, and our nervous system. So that vibration is occurring in our bodies, and it's through pictures, images, that the inner workings of our body happen. And this has been proved scientifically, and I talk about this at length in the book, The Science of Sound. Not only do our bodies operate like this, but reality operates like this. So in the second mode of vibration, We communicate through pictures. These can be sacred geometries, symbols, yantras, mandalas, vibratory art like Turner or Monet or Bridget Riley, sacred geometries of all kinds, and then taking that even deeper into metaphors and poetry, which create pictures in the mind. A good metaphor will create pictures in the mind. Sublime poetry will also create pictures in the mind as a bridge from the first mode of vibration into more expanded, luminous reality. Connected to this is a phenomenon known as reverse speech, where if we record our speech and reverse it, there's hidden metaphor meanings. Now, interestingly, children up to the age of 4, I believe, talk and think more backwards in this reverse speech. When they start to become conditioned to this 3D culture and world, they then start to think forwards and start to speak forwards. But up until then, they are thinking and speaking backwards, which is often why we can't understand them. Young children, young babies rather, up to the age of around 3 or 4. So they are thinking and speaking in reverse. And this is a metaphorical language. So metaphors are used by all good writers and poets to create these pictures in the mind, to communicate on a much broader, more expanded, more luminous level. And this goes deeper into us, into our brains, into our nervous systems, into the communication systems within our neuronal and dendritic networks within our nervous system. So pictures are worth 1,000 words, as Aristotle said. So pictures are one way we communicate in the second mode of vibration. The other way we communicate is through flow. So when we get in flow, when we're in the zone, we can do something without hardly any effort. That in the first mode of vibration, we take a lot of effort. When we're in that flow, when you're in the zone, you know that things just happen, things just flow. You're working and bang, suddenly 2 hours have gone. You've got an enormous amount of work done. Similar with athletes, they get in that zone and suddenly they're performing beyond what they've been trained to do and beyond what they believe they can do. They're in total flow, they're working effortlessly. The same with any artist, meditator, and people who are just doing even normal office jobs can get into that flow, where the mind, the senses recede into the background and start to enter a very fluid medium. And of course, we are made predominantly of water, over 75% of water. In our brains, in our lungs, in our hearts, and the rest of our bodies, we operate through water, which is flow, the medium for flow. And another way we can access the second mode of vibration very quickly is by sitting in darkness. And this has become quite popular now. Mantak Chia's darkness retreats in Thailand and the Philippines, the Kogi South American tribe regularly spend time in the darkness, as do the Tibetan Buddhist monks in training, and as does a gentleman, shaman called Simon Buxton, who leads darkness retreats in England. So in darkness, if you're in darkness for 24 hours, as in everything is blanked off, there's no light, you instantly start to tap into the second mode of vibration. And in the second mode of vibration, our sense of judgment recedes, because we can't see anything with our senses, and some of our senses become more heightened, and other our senses kind of recede and go into our inner senses. These inner senses are then what we use to navigate in the 3D world. And so when we are in darkness, we instantly start to access the second mode of vibration. Similarly, when we're in nature for more than 48 to 72 hours, our brainwave states change into the second mode of vibration. We become calmer, more in flow, more in resonance with nature and Gaia's electromagnetic body and fields. So as we spend more time in nature, we can access this. And this has been scientifically proven. Now, some people can access this if they go into nature quite quickly. Their brainwave states can change. You just lie down on Gaia, put away your phone, put away all your electronic transmitting, receiving devices, and totally just tune into Gaia. You can access that mode of vibration quite quickly. So these are all ways that we can access the second mode of vibration, which works through deep listening, through flow, through the medium of water, so also isolation tanks, Watsu, aquatic body work, lying in the ocean, lying in the warm water in the jacuzzi, letting go into that space, into that state. Through darkness and through dreams. So when we dream, we are in this second mode of vibration. And particularly when we're dreaming and we're communicating with other people. So we call that lucid dreaming. And in the South American shamanic traditions, Northern European shamanic traditions, and in the Tibetan Laya Yoga, in the Indian Yoga Nidra, we consciously tap into these states, which Carlos Castaneda talked about in detail. We consciously tap into these states in the second mode of vibration, and then we can manipulate the dream world. And the dream world is just another name for the second mode of vibration, the bridge between the third dimension, fourth dimension, and into the fifth dimension. So there's many more details to the second mode of vibration, but in essence it works through these mediums. And we're developing technologies to be able to more fully access this. So for example, Dr. Emoto's Hado water technology, which takes pictures of water that has been imprinted with music and positive and negative emotions and affirmations and statements. So on a test tube of water, heavy metal is blasted into it. On another test tube, a beautiful, soothing, classical music piece is blasted into that, transmitted into that. The water is frozen, put in the freezer, photographs are taken. The heavy metal creates distorted, jagged geometries. The beautiful classical piece creates harmonious, beautiful looking geometries. And the same with words too. I love you, or gratitude, has these wonderful, perfect crystal snowflake geometries. Words like I hate you have these jagged, dark, broken, distorted geometries to the water crystals that have been photographed. So this is a second mode of vibration, external technology. And similarly, the Cyma Scope, which was developed by Dr. Hans Jenny in the 19th century, and which has been updated by Dr. John Reed in the 21st century. So the Cyma Scope is a vibratory interface, a device that captures the pictures that sound make. And so again, we can see the geometries, the shapes, the forms, that sound that we speak or sing or chant, what they create. And this is a very powerful medium if you use it interactively, and also to actually see what sound looks like, what the words you're saying looks like, what the mantras you're saying, chants you're saying, or the hymns you're singing, whatever it is, it all has a sound or a picture, an image, a shape, a geometry to it. So these kinds of external technologies are happening, but we have all this technology within us. So when we meditate on certain sacred geometries, be it the flower of life or the Sri Yantra or any sacred geometry, we are actually patterning our brain and nervous system to resonate with those geometries. The most powerful thing we can do when meditating on sacred geometries is to actually use sounds with it. And there's specific sounds that come with each sacred geometry. And this makes our meditations extremely powerful and takes us very deep into the second mode of vibration and even into the next higher mode of vibration, the third mode of vibration. So all these means and methods also get encoded into buildings. So vibratory architecture, such as a Great Pyramid in Giza, Chartres Cathedral in France, many temples and mosques are built on a golden 5 ratio, i.e. the harmonious proportions of the human body. All of these sacred buildings, temples, mosques, cathedrals, are built on this principle of sound. And they're built so that when people enter into this sacred space, they then enter the second mode of vibration pretty instantly, because everything in that building is encoded with harmonic proportions that then resonate with our bodies and our harmonic proportions, our innate sacred geometry within us. So many sacred buildings and temples were built according to these sacred proportions, and many of these sacred buildings were not. Nonetheless, there are many in the world today that you can go into and you can feel your consciousness shift. And you're shifting into the second mode of vibration, because a building is built for that purpose. There are many details to the second mode of vibration. I've just shared a few of them. I've explored this in great depth and detail in the book The Science of Sound, which is coming out soon. I trust you've enjoyed this sharing, and if there's any questions, please make some comments, or whichever questions you have, in the comments box below this video. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.